It's a controversial part of the border, the section between the fence in America and the Rio Grande bordering Mexico that some call no man's land.
Grace White shows us why years after that fence went up, some say the area around it is falling into the wrong hands.
This is home. This is America.
It looks like any other neighborhood. There's a sense of pride. You could call it a gated community, except this isn't a gate. Traffic comes right through. And this isn't the residents' idea of protection. It's the U.S. government's idea of border security.
Is there anybody else out here?
No, no one.
You're the last house.
We're the last.
Pamela Taylor has lived in her home just outside Brownsville for decades.
See there, the trees at the bottom? That is Mexico.
South of the border in most places is farmland, but in this neighborhood south of the fence is where people live.
It's been known as no man's land.
There's only a handful of homeowners on the other side of the fence, and most have been fighting the government for years.
They took 4 acres.
Some claim they've been cut off from their country, and others say they now have limited access to their homes.
So this is your property and that's your property.
Yeah, on the other side of the fence.
The fence cuts right through Rusty Montzy's property.
It doesn't work. There's no way it can work.
No matter what happens on this side of the fence, we have absolutely no control over it.
Border Patrol agents walked us onto the other side to prove they do.
A lot of people have that misconception that south side of the fence is no man's land, and by that, by no means is that. That's Mexico on that side. That's the Rio Grande.
Agents also took us on this ride-along to show us why the fence wasn't built on the actual border.
Certain areas a little bit wider, or narrow.
There's simply too many twists and turns on the Rio Grande to justify the cost. But even though the fence in places is a half-mile north,
We have detection capabilities out there in between the Rio Grande and the fence.
They probably see it as the unofficial border.
Border Patrol's union representatives say while it does provide protection, the fence also creates challenges.
What has happened to your agents south of the fence recently?
Well, in the not too distant past, we've had a couple guys attacked. One guy got pretty battered, pretty bloody out there. A couple guys, they've reached for their guns. They've tried to disarm our agents.
The union says there's been talks of requiring agents to work in pairs.
We've had some agents that have been assaulted. It's not uncommon for a Border Patrol agent to arrest one agent arrests 7, 10, 15, 20 people at a time by himself.
All this money that they've spent on this could have been better spent to improve and bring in more Border Patrolmen.
But Border Patrol is increasing manpower in the Rio Grande Valley because the number of people being caught coming across increased significantly from last year.
Well, they ask, well, if it's so dangerous, why don't you move? Well, why should I? I haven't done anything wrong.
So Taylor makes the most of it.
We have 4 coolers, 2 coolers here.
Leaving sodas and water out for people passing through. But don't mistake her generosity as an endorsement. She says what's happening on this side of the fence should concern every American.
Whatever comes over this border, they are going up north. It is going to absolutely influx.
We asked Brownsville Congressman Philemon Villa for his take. He says simply, I believe the border fence has been a waste of money and needs to be torn down. But some would argue the fence works. The Border Patrol is catching more people as they come across. In 2012, the number was around 95,000. Last year, 150,000. Grace White, Fox News at 9.